Hi everyone, I hope you're all okay. I just wanted to wish you all a Merry Christmas. That's if you do celebrate Christmas. If you don't, then I wish you whatever you celebrate. So many different things over the world, so whatever you're doing tomorrow, have a great day. I hope, you just find it peaceful and as happy as you can. I know there's going to be a lot of people that this time of year is very stressful. Just running around like idiots, getting things prepared and that, or just not even being able to go and see people, or maybe not even having people around to be able to see. There's so many different aspects of Christmas, good and bad. And I think the best thing to do is just try and cope with it as best as you can. In whatever way, we all get stressed out about Christmas. Run around like complete idiots, spend loads of money, pack your cupboards and your fridge and your freezers full of food and for one day, and we think we have to do this year after year after year, and it's hard for people that don't have anybody around. It's when you start reflecting on past, especially me, it used to really get to me. Christmas time on my birthday, 19th of December, up until sort of like Boxing Day, maybe even past Boxing Day up to New Year. It depended on how bad my mental health was at the time. But yeah, I used to hibernate. I used to hide away because I didn't want to be reminded of what I didn't have, what I couldn't have, or what I thought I couldn't have. There was people I really shouldn't have been around anyway and shouldn't really worry about that, but because you grow up with that sort of like instinct of family, you're supposed to be around family at Christmas times, all being happy and cheery. But as you grow older, you start to realise, right, okay, well, yeah, my family's not happy and cheery. My family's backstabbing, and the harm they cause under the guise of love, it can be very traumatising, for the head. Especially when you start growing up and you start understanding what's going on. But yeah, it was actually last year, I suppose, or maybe even the year before. Actually, I started coming out of myself, making an effort to enjoy Christmas. My daughter invited me over for Christmas Day and cooked me first Christmas dinner. It was brilliant. I loved it. And last year I spent Christmas with my friend Hella. That was very enlightening Christmas. And since then I've just got better and better. Even more so now, my daughter's coming around tomorrow and I'm cooking Christmas dinner for the first time since I can, in a long time. My mental health issues have been too bad. Like I say, I hid myself away. I wouldn't talk to anyone. I'd just shut off any social media and slept a lot of it away. That's if I didn't sort of like lose the plot and try and self-harm and things like that, nobody would know what's going on but me. I used to hide it away from everyone. And I know that there was people out there that would have helped me if I'd have asked. But when your head's stuck up your arse because you're getting triggered by all sorts daily, on top of a time of year where you should be celebrating with your family, especially birthdays as well. It just coincides that mine's 6 days before Christmas. So yeah, it's a lot of intensity over those few days. So that's how I used to be able to cope with it the best I could. I've learned better ways to cope with it now, you know, but I am actually starting to enjoy it. So, you know, but that's only because I've come to terms with a lot of things, you know. I've come to love myself, see my own worth, and enjoy my own company. So yeah, I can spend Christmas doing what I want, really. You know, I don't have to go and be forced to sit with people I don't like, which nobody should really. You know, Christmas is stressful enough as it is. You know, going seeing people that you don't really like, just to leave traumatised, and having to spend the rest of the Christmas, maybe even a few months after, trying to get over it, you know? Is it really worth it? Is it really worth the mental hassle and the impact that it has on your life after? It's the same with all this buying presents and, you know, the newest things. Oh, I've got to make sure that my kids got this and that and the other, you know? Now make sure they've got love and a family and they feel valued. Those are the gifts that last a lifetime. You know, you can give your kid whatever you want for Christmas, you know, the most expensive present that they've ever asked for, you know, or the wildest dreams, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's just something for them to play with or to use, you know. Where's the stability of the emotions, you know, the presents that would last a lifetime into their future and help them with their future, you know, help them as adults, you know, self-love and feeling their worth, you know, feeling of togetherness and family and, you know, even with all those traditions, if you do it right, you know, you can have a good time and pass on the knowledge and everything. I'm not saying don't buy presents for people, but, you know, people just buy presents and, you know, well, I've got you this and that's it, you know, I don't come with the emotions behind it. There you go, have fun, bye, you know, there's nothing there. It's an empty gesture, really, even though it may have cost thousands of pounds or whatever. But, yeah, for me, I mean, I didn't get things that I asked for at Christmas anyway, but I wanted I wanted the love to feel included, to feel magical, you know, at Christmas, which it should do, you know. Any sorts of relationship should feel magical. Just on the connection side, you know, that you can open up and express your happiness, your achievements of the year and things like that, you know, or even open up with what's gone wrong in your year, you know, and not feel ridiculed or have it used against you for struggling, you know. A lot of people at this time of the year, I don't know if they know that they're doing it, some of them will, some of them won't, you know, they try and outdo on all sorts of things, you know, try and one-upmanship. I mean, you see it with Christmas decorations, you know, there's always the one-upmanship, and it carries on through life, really, but, you know, that's not how we should be. We should appreciate each other for who they are, no matter their abilities or inabilities, disabilities. It shouldn't really matter. We should all treat each other the same. I mean, we can go into the religious side of things, can't we? And, you know, why Jesus was born and all this, you know, on Christmas Day. I mean, to be honest, I think it's all, well, a lot of the Christmas story has come from older beliefs, before Christianity. So, you know, it's just been incorporated to be part of the story. But it's a good story, you know, it's about struggle, you know, Mary, I can understand, you know, I mean, some women have given birth in some strange places, but stable, yeah. I suppose when it comes, there's no stopping it. You have to make provisions for where you are at the time, you know. You know, I've heard people giving birth in the toilet, things like that, you know, on a bus, in the car, you know, at the supermarket. in a field somewhere. You know, it's one of those. It's a story that's repeated in daily life. You know, and then you know the togetherness and celebrating a new journey with a child, basically. But what the values are, you know, as Jesus grows into an adult and everything, it's all about being kind and loving and standing up to injustice and things like that, you know. Togetherness, we need it for this world to move forward. We're being divided and conquered at the moment, and it's been like that for a long time, by the powers that be, you know, that run this world. You know, we should all be running this world together, not just a certain few. The control that they have over everyone, and they're prepared to see us just fight between ourselves and not bother with trying to fix things because they're raking it in. They don't want to fix things because they're making profits left, right and centre. And humans, we need to grow and evolve and not feel trapped. We start kicking off then when mental health issues start arising when you're not able to be a free spirit and be yourself. When you've got to live by these certain rules of you need to earn money until you're a certain age and then die, you know, just all for survival. We've got out of the survival, you know, we're not cavemen anymore, we're not running away from all these nasty beasts and stuff, you know, we've evolved. And we need to make provisions for that. We need to support everybody through their whole life, you know, mentally. There's so many people just being allowed to live in a mental state that isn't good for us, is only supposed to happen when we're in danger, and our body reacts to it, you know, adrenaline and things like that. Our body reacts, it takes blood away from our hands and our feet, and it'll power our inner organs. It protects those like the heart and everything. We need it for running and things like that. So yeah, even from the brain it takes that sort of certain things away, so it only puts it into like a basic level of function because you're ready to run. You're in danger. You don't need all the thought processes. It's just go. That's all you need to know. Or fight or flight, yeah, or play dead. You know, those are the only functions that your brain's got at that time. Which one shall I switch on for this moment in time? Okay. Now we've been kept in that sort of frame of mind for a long time, and it's only when you come out of that you start living, and your brain can start recovering and go back to a normal function that it wants, you know. And I do believe that, you know, all these mental health issues that have been undiagnosed for such a long time, I do believe that they turn into, at the end of your life, dementia and Alzheimer's. The brain has been stuck in survival mode for so long. I think it poisons itself. Because they still don't understand why there's a certain build-up. I can't remember, I don't know if it's calcium or the science teacher told me the other week, but I forgot. But there is a build-up, and things start shutting down. And it just seems, you know, like with our body, we make excuse me, lactic acid. When we run, we're not getting enough oxygen. Our body uses the energy we've already got without the oxygen. It creates lactic acid, which is poisonous for us. It is actually a poisonous thing, and if we don't get rid of it out of our bodies, it causes us harm. And that's what you get from, like sprinters and things like that. Bursts of energy, that quick energy. It stays in the body, and the only way to get rid of it is more oxygen. So you breathe faster and harder and deeper. Your whole body reacts to it. But when you start getting more oxygen into your system, it starts flushing itself out of your system. And you start recovering. And it's the same sort of thing with mental health. The more that you're in this state of survival, the more damage it's being done to your brain. And the only way that I've found out that actually without medication and is it instant results is to trigger some sort of happiness. Whether it be a favourite song or a joke or something like that, lighten the mood. It just switches that survival mode off for a second, because it's like, oh, this is funny, or oh yeah, I like this music, and you get goosebumps and whatnot, and your brain reacts. It distracts your brain from all the shit. And that's what I had to do through mood therapy. And I do believe it was a good thing to do, because my brain was just shut in survival mode for so long, and it didn't experience happiness very often. I had to switch that round by bringing happiness into my life every single day. Every time I was stressed out, I had to trigger a happy feeling in one way or another. And it has to be the most simplest forms when you've got mental health, bad mental health issues. Because, sometimes I couldn't even press play on my music player, on my phone. And that's all it needed to put on my favourite tune. I couldn't even bring myself to do that. So you have to force yourself. People want happiness, but happiness doesn't come to you. You've got to search for it yourself, because only you know what makes you happy. You can't put all your happiness into something else or someone else, because their version of happiness might not meet up to what you want as happiness. It takes a while to understand certain things, but once you start thinking in a certain pattern, and you reinforce this daily, it starts becoming a habit. And your brain shifts. And you start living a different life. You start seeing things differently. You start coping better. You're not ruled by your emotions in your head. It's a balance between the two. You can start thinking properly. But yeah, Christmas is a very stressful time for everyone, and it doesn't need to be. It really doesn't. We just need to get back into that loving, caring, giving side of things that it should be, instead of the money-making, stress-giving, mental health triggering thing that it's become. It's just so bad. And it needs to change. But it's not just this year, this time of year, it's got to be all the way through the year. Things need to change. So many people, so many things going on in this world that aren't right, and we know that they're not right. And a lot of us are frustrated that we can't change anything. The way that we're being pushed, especially England at the moment, as a nation, we're being pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And they're just seeing how far they can push us before we snap. And once we snap, people's revolt. We've been living with injustice for so long that people are starting to get pissed off, And it's like with anything, you know, you get pissed off to a certain point, you're going to react in a certain way. And especially for people with mental health issues. You get pushed and pushed and pushed, you know, like in a toxic relationship, you get pushed to your limits. And when you explode, you get the blame. And I know it's going to happen, you know, if we explode as a nation, which I could see it coming to, you know, it really is. You keep pushing the buttons, you're going to explode, you know. Yeah, we're getting those buttons pushed. But yeah, once we explode, we're the ones that's going to get the blame. And it's not going to be the fact of society or the people's running society was the problem, you know, the English government and everything that is connected to all of that. That's not going to get the blame. It never does. These people don't get held accountable. And this is a reason why they're allowed to get away with what they do. You know, they're liars, they're thieves. To be honest, they're murderers, you know, in certain aspects, you know, letting people die needlessly. You know, people don't have to die in this day and age. There's so much money, so much wealth, so much of everything. But it's all at a cost. Greed, 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 greed. And when you get these narcissists at the top, these psychopaths, these sociopaths, running everything, keeping control, then yeah, this is what happens. It's the same as in a toxic relationship. When they've got full control of you, you suffer. You lose everything. You lose your money, you lose your self-esteem, you lose your friends, you lose your family, and your life revolves around this one person. Everything you earn goes in their pocket. They tell you what you can do, what you can't do. I know if you don't live up to their expectation, you get punished beyond belief. And a lot of the time it's punishment that isn't warranted at all. You know, it's just a form of control. Yeah, and that's the sort of world we're living in. The powers that be, the ones at the top, they're the ones controlling us. And everybody else, we're the ones that are suffering physically and mentally. And something needs to be done about it. Anyway, I've waffled on again for 22 minutes. And my point is, tomorrow is just another day. So, you know, try and cope with it as best as you can, in the best way you can. If it's not happy, then, you know, if you're stuck in with the family, just walk away. It doesn't matter. Just walk away, go home, sit down, do your own bloody thing, you know. Don't worry about it. Just go and enjoy your own company if you have to, if that's what you want to do it. If you want to spend it with friends and you're not allowed to, just go do it. Okay, you know, go and have your Christmas. You're going to have shit for it, whichever way, you know. You'll have shit if you'll stay at home. You know, if you're in a sort of like toxic relationship and your partner's like, oh, you're not allowed out Christmas Eve. You'll get a shit Christmas anyway, so you might as well go out and enjoy it. Yeah, that's what I used to do. I knew I was going to get crap if I went out and celebrated it, you know, when I was married, because I wasn't allowed to go out. But yeah, they'd be like, I'm going out, I'm having fun. And yeah, I'd always have to pay the consequences after, you know, on so many different levels, but, you know, it was worth it just for that bit of happiness, just to feel alive, just to do what I wanted to do for once, after being told no, you can't, you're not allowed, for so long. It is liberating, but you've got to keep doing it on a daily basis. and not get involved with people that don't want this sort of thing for you, that don't want to see you moving forward. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So everybody, have a great time. Sending you love and light. And if I don't see you before, I hope that 2023 brings you everything that you desire. All the happiness, all the joy, all the abundance, all the connectivity. And I shall be making more videos once I've got Christmas out of the way. So here's to 2023. Bye bye everyone. Love you lots.